Going on, dudes and dudettes? So yes, woke up to some interesting Chargers trade news. Usually they don't make some big trades involving some of their better players, but it looks like they are going to be trading J.C. Jackson, who they signed as a big-time free agent last summer, to the New England Patriots, where he was before, where he got drafted for, I believe it's just like a 6th-round pick swap going into next year's draft. So it's kind of weird how you gave this guy a big old contract and you're only getting basically a 6th-round pick, and that's if, the Patriots finish worse than the Chargers. But maybe and hopefully it's a compensatory pick, or a pick that at least if he plays more and does better, plays a certain percentage, then it actually gets, a higher round or something like that. I don't know if it really is or not, but it just seems like Chargers were willing to just get rid of him because, they're going to be paying his about $7-something million left on his deal for this season, and they're taking like a dead cap hit into next year's salary books for like about 20-something million for him. So it's obviously, get him out while they can, whoever was available to get him. But yeah, you're kind of paying a nice price to be able to do that. But maybe they could spread that 20 million out for the next couple years or so instead of just taking it all, next season, because they are going to be paying guys like Herbert and maybe more of like a Keenan Allen and, Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa's contract and stuff as well. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. And that's if they want to bring back Austin Eckler too. But yeah, I guess it was just a failed experiment. He was the leading interception guy his first 4 years in the season, while playing in the NFL. But ever since with the Chargers, he only played the first handful of games, like 2 or 3. Last year, his first year, and then ended up getting hurt, out for the rest of the year basically. And he was coming back from a pretty bad injury and was supposed to be looking good and getting some playing time, and then he wasn't getting any playing time, and then I guess he was starting to say stuff in the media, and Chargers don't like that behind the scenes stuff, and I guess this was a way to get rid of him. But I don't know, maybe if they're willing to make a deal like this early, they could be in the market for, a good tight end, good receiver. Like I said, they should be looking at certain guys in prior videos to this, but, I've been hearing some big news. If the Falcons do end up sucking for a couple more games, then maybe Kyle Pitts will become available. And if you watch this channel for when he was coming out in the draft, he was my favorite player coming out of college that year. But obviously, he got picked 4th overall by the Atlanta Falcons. But maybe you could still get him for maybe a 3rd-round pick. Throw in a future 6th-round pick, maybe. But you just never know. But yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing how the Chargers roster changes, because they are on a bye week, so they're probably going to get itchy and bored. So we'll see what happens over the next week or so. And the other day, I think it might be yesterday, the Anaheim Ducks signed one of their younger players, Trevor Zegras, to a 3-year contract. Don't know the exact numbers, but it was probably good enough for him to come back. Especially a young dude with that much talent. Definitely very excited to have him back on the team and with the roster to be able to build up with a lot of these other guys that they were able to sign as well. But yeah, it just sucks. They drafted a lot of talent, and now this talent is, having to or needing to get paid right now. So luckily they're able to work out some stuff. Hopefully they will continue to do that to keep this group together. But we'll just have to wait and see, I guess. But definitely very excited to have him back onto the team. And then, yes, I forgot to put this in the video. Was it yesterday? Probably was yesterday. That USC, over the last 6 games, has scored 40-plus points, which is pretty crazy. They are 5-1, because I think that goes back to the Tulane game, the last game of last year, which they ended up losing. But every single game this year, they've scored over 40-plus and have won the game. So we'll see how long this streak can go. I think it's the longest streak in college football right now, and it's the first time USC has done it since like 2003. Even that Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush team wasn't able to do that, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, overall, definitely looking forward to this game on Saturday night against Arizona. A couple of good 4-star 2025 players are setting up or scheduling visits to USC coming up soon. I know the 4-star running back Byron Lewis recently put up a scheduled visit, and then Jet White also scheduling a return visit because he was committed to USC in his like freshman or sophomore year, something like that. But then he had decommitted, but luckily he is still looking to come to USC at least visit, and that's only a good sign for me because he is one of the top defensive players in his class, and if he's still considering USC, then he might have heard some news that, if Grinch, the defensive coordinator for USC, doesn't turn things around, then he could end up being shipped out somewhere and them getting an upgrade at the defensive coordinator side, and he might be looking into that. USC was one of his favorite schools. That's why he committed so early, but hoping that maybe if Grinch doesn't live up to the hype this year, that Lincoln Riley, who's able to call the shots apparently at USC, but hopefully he won't be able to keep his friend there if he ends up sucking and not allowing Caleb Williams to at least have a chance to win the national championship this season. And Corey Foreman, yes, he was a very talented dude from out here at Corona Centennial, one of the best players not only in California but in the country when he was coming out like 2 or 3 years ago from high school, but just never has seemed to turn it up at USC. He obviously committed to the coaching staff prior to Lincoln Riley, but still able to stay on. Obviously, with that guy with that type of talent, you'd think it would be easy to transfer to another coaching philosophy and all that stuff, but it just hasn't seemed to work out because it hardly worked out when he was with Helton that first year, and obviously that was when Helton got fired, but yeah, it just hasn't worked out with this defensive staff, and he has been looking to see if he might redshirt this year, which isn't a crazy idea just because he wants to be able to save his eligibility up to be able to, because he probably thinks he's going to need more than 1 year to be able to get to the NFL now. So either way, I'm not really mad about it. I am upset just because he is a local product and hoping that he was going to do good, even though he went to a rival high school of mine. I still like to see these Corona athletes do well out there in the NCAA and hopefully make it into college, into the NFL, the pros. But either way, sending good vibes to him, and hopefully he will be able to make the decision that he is happy and good with. And some recent news about the transfer portal, the window as far as when your name gets put in there has come down from like 60 days to about 45. It used to be 45 for certain players, but now it's gone down to 60 just because a lot of guys were just staying in there forever, kind of waiting for, this big thing to happen for them, whether it was, more money or situations that happen at schools. But yeah, I guess now it's kind of easier. So you will get like at some point a 30-day window after the season in like December or something, and then when it's the spring, you'll get another 15 days around there, so that equals up to the 45. So either way, see what ends up happening with that. But yeah, a couple of USC guys will be in that portal. I'm not worried about that, but hopefully USC will be able to snag some of the other guys, because now they'll have to work twice as quickly to be able to get some of those players. And then House of Victory finally made another signing to their NIL crew, and it's the defensive back from USC, Christian Pierce. I want to say he's a freshman year. I could be wrong, but yeah, be able to get him on there is pretty cool. I knew he was considered a 3-star player in high school, but he definitely is a lot better than that. And even during the spring game, he was making plays and doing a lot of good stuff there. So maybe there's some injuries out there on the defensive side. He probably will get some playing time at some point this season. And then yes, Khalil Mack, I barely mentioned that he had 6 sacks yesterday in that video, but today I'm saying that he was officially named the AFC Defensive Player of the Week, which is pretty cool. Had like 10 tackles total, 6 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, all those great stats. So it's obviously well deserved because of how great his stats were. 6 sacks. It's crazy that he wasn't even the leader. I don't know if he was the leader of the Chargers, like that's a record, but I know there was like someone who had 7 in the NFL history book, so that's pretty crazy. But either way, it's a nice award for him to at least enjoy on his bye week as of right now with the Chargers. And the Reese's Senior Bowl has a Twitter X account where they kind of showcase a lot of the players that have done well that week or preparing to play against other good players that week. And the Senior Reese's Bowl is usually for players who have graduated college and they're probably not going to get invited to the NFL Combine, so it's another area to get coaches' eyes on you and practice and playing a little game that they have, a little scrimmage. But if you do graduate early too, I believe you can go play in that game as well and meet with those coaches and staffs and all that stuff too. But they are highlighting Brendan Rice this year from USC, who had 5 catches, like 81 something yards and 2 touchdowns in that Colorado game. And obviously he is a senior, so he most likely will be playing in this game at the end of the season either way. But I'm pretty sure with enough talent and just that name recognition alone, being Jerry Rice's son, he will be invited to the Combine, but I'm pretty sure he still feels that he will have to go to the Reese's Senior Bowl to be able to build up his stock going into that next year's draft anyway. But we'll have to wait and see what that holds for him. But yeah, definitely looking forward to what ends up happening with that. And then Kalen Bullock is considered like USC's best player on defense, maybe second best player overall on the team, especially heading into drafts. He's considered like a first-round pick. But some people made the comparison that he is like a Derwin James, who is a safety for the Chargers, or he plays like a safety who is with Pittsburgh now, and Minkah Fitzpatrick, who I consider are some of the better safeties out there, not only while they were in college, but definitely in the NFL. And you just saw it a little bit differently in college, so it was kind of easy to say that they were going to do well in the NFL. And Bullock, he's pretty up and down. There was that freshman year where he was pretty consistent throughout, and that's why he was named an All-American that year. But the last 2 years, there are times where he is a little bit out of place. That could be because of the defensive coaches and the coordinator calling dumb plays. But there are times, too, when if he does get beat or if the guy on the other side does get beat, then he does have enough speed to get down there and tackle the person before they do score. He does get an interception here and there every couple of games. He is good at reading the ball, but I don't know if he's as physical as those two guys, especially just because of his slighter frame. He hasn't really been able to put up that much muscle and size on him, but definitely like at over 6'2", being able to play that free safety position, even if you paired him up with, say, any of those two players in the league next season, I think he would be a really good player. So I wouldn't be mad if he was drafted to the Chargers and playing alongside Derwin James. But either way, yeah, definitely looking forward to that dude's future. And yeah, getting ready for this Saturday where USC plays against Arizona at home. Should be around 7:30 p.m. A late kickoff once again, and it should be on ESPN. So yeah, the only thing I'm scared about is Arizona's been getting a lot of guys from California in their recruits last year, so now those guys are second-year players, and they almost sort of beat USC last year in Arizona, in Tucson, so they might have a little bit of, feeling a bit more better going into this matchup, a little bit more confidence. But yeah, and it's going to be a homecoming for a lot of them too, especially because the quarterback, they do have a good older quarterback to lower, but I think he is going to be out once again. And last week, the second-year player who was a player at Servite High School out there in Anaheim, who is doing really well, and they have a really good receiver, T-Mac, is doing really good also going into his second season. He was really good last year as a freshman, so yeah, hopefully those two guys don't end up destroying USC, and if they do, then I guess hoping that USC still kind of covers their record or their betting thing, supposedly winning by 22 points, but I think I will be feeling weird if it was like a final score of 65-40 or something like that. I still would be pretty upset with the defense and the defensive coaches for not getting their team out for like this, but I would not be surprised either if that's a score, but I can still be upset about the coaches not getting their players ready to play, which it seems like they're playing down to the team. But there are a lot of different factors in this game that could help benefit Arizona. I'm just hoping that it's not going to be a big-time upset You never know, but I am confident USC will win this game. I'm just hoping that they look good while doing it because they have not looked good the past 2 wins. So yeah, thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Bye. Fight on.